Well, hello, friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with Morning Dew, daily events worldwide. We're on April 21st, 2020. Welcome to another surviving day on this planet. Thank you for joining me, the Daily Dew. Looking here at the sun, 304 angstroms. Not much to talk about except some plasma filaments all around the heliosphere right now. Small fiery region that is outgoing as well, looking at those outgoing plasma filaments. Coronal hole is kind of in and out of activity, diminishing mostly, but we're also watching an active incoming region right now. As you can see, the heliosphere being affected on the left hand side there. That bright spot coming in most likely is a sunspot. As you can see, these huge plasma loops reaching away from the sun. Just the beginning of a very quiet sun. Looking here at our heliosphere. Not much to talk about except for the incoming coronal hole wind stream, which we did see a small increase in solar wind speed up to 400 kilometers per second. Then now we're back down to about 300 kilometers per second and diminishing. So most likely expecting some more coronal hole wind stream. Increased cosmic charge particles in our collapsed magnetosphere. We have an increase in seismicity around the world the last 24 hours. Especially Idaho and California. And as well, the Pacific Plate, where we had two pretty deep earthquakes today. 5.0, 557 kilometer depth in Fiji, and then a 4.7 at a 594 kilometer depth. Yesterday, 5.2 there. But then right after those deep earthquakes, we saw this movement in the Philippines, Indonesia, Ternate, Indonesia, 4.6. 4.8 in India, deep 4.4, Tajikistan, South America, those are yesterday's earthquakes, 4.7 there, Peru, 4.8 here, Panama today, earthquake swarm continuing, Idaho, and as well 3.1 here in Texas. So looking at some pretty large Cascadia movement moving south into the San Andreas. Earthquakes are increasing in Bodie, California again, and continuing in Idaho. Most recently with the 4.1 on both. Also seeing an increase in seismicity. Aleutian Islands, 4.6 there. Sorry, Alaskan Peninsula. I don't know why I do that all the time. Let's look at the last 7 days for earthquakes. So yes, deep movement today. Watch for a larger, shallower earthquake to follow. Most likely North American plate or eastward into Eurasia, Europe. North Pole maybe. Let's get to the Pacific Disaster Center. Most recent volcanoes from around the world. Popo, as well Dakono, Kluchevskoy, Asosan, Sangay, Sabancaya, all in the last 5 hours. These were all the alerts that I woke up to today, just after I put out the volcanic activity report last night. Thanks again for everybody that watched that, and please like and share. Let's get this YouTube algorithm going. We are worldwide. Let's just build our numbers now. Overlooking Pacific Ocean, huge low pressure system here. You can see it broke up into a bunch of smaller lows, but then they all reform again into one strong low. So still watching quite the Northern hemisphere anomalies happen, the cooler temperatures that are prevailing, the jet streams that are just wonky. Watch for extreme weather here across Texas over the next couple days. We'll get into the 5-day forecast soon, as we have the reoccurring scenario for southeastern United States coming up in the 5-day forecast. So thoughts and prayers going out to everybody that was affected in those last tornadoes that ripped through. Many people have already lost their lives, their homes, their businesses. Thoughts and prayers going to everybody affected by the extreme weather that has been happening and will continue across the United States. Overlooking Europe, as we have a very strong high-pressure ridge hanging out over Ireland. Convergence line is right over Ireland. Subscriber was talking about how windy today it was. And you've got a strong high-pressure ridge right over top of you, the center of the high. So I can see why it's windy. But yeah, watch for extreme weather and heavy snow. Northern parts of the Mediterranean, higher elevations. And as well, watch for stormy conditions moving east across the Mediterranean, as that low from from the Atlantic gets blocked by a strong high pressure ridge. Let's get to the 5-day forecast brought to you by Meteor Earth, Meteor Mike. Starting here, home base, Calgary, Alberta. The temperature roller coaster continues, but the cold temps are still the news for the long range forecast. So let's have a look here. Temperatures reaching about 10 degrees, maybe 13 degrees, but then a strong low moving in from Alaska, Northern Territory, going to bring cool temperatures. Got warm temperatures ahead of this Pacific low that is coming in. That is going to help fuel the extreme weather across southeastern United States and down into Florida, as temperatures are starting to rise down there as well. Watch later in the week for possible superstorm development over the Great Lakes regions. Could see some extreme weather there. As well, watching a large low pressure system moving south of Greenland, locking itself in there. Just very strange. Northern hemisphere right now. I don't think I've forecasted like this before. But let's overlook Europe. High pressure ridge in place, dry, cooler air Eastern Europe, warm Western Europe. Watch as this huge low moves in over Russia, northern Russia, and moves west. Watch it move west. That's right. It's moving the opposite direction back into Finland, then to Ireland later. Overlooking the Indies, as well as Russia, watching huge low pressure system develop here. 5-day forecast. That's the one I was talking about. It's going to bring some snow heading west, but then who knows what's going to happen. Lots of anomalies around the world right now. We could have a solar outburst that could change our weather overnight. Overlooking the Pacific Ocean, strong, vigorous low pressure systems coming out of China. Dominant high pressure ridge over the Pacific Ocean as well. Rain's moving into Micronesia. Heavy rain, Vanuatu over the next few days. Downgraded tropical system moving east. There are no cyclones, areas of interest right now, or hurricanes. Overlooking Australia, watching for a little bit of rain. Southeastern Australia later in the week. Overlooking the Indian Ocean. Quite a bit of moisture building. Most likely we'll see a cyclone here in the 7-day forecast, but not in this 5-day. As well, watching heavy amounts of rain, East Africa, and as well West Africa, and then more central regions later in the week. Overlooking the Atlantic, just a freight train of moisture heading in to Brazil and Venezuela, daytime evaporation rains, plus all the moisture coming in off the Atlantic. Thoughts and prayers going out to everybody there. There are a lot of flooding conditions, landslides being reported. Later in the week, watch for extreme weather, Argentina, Sao Paulo, as the low pressure system develops there. Strong high pressure ridge in the Atlantic. Just wait until that breaks free, and we have a hurricane train for the Atlantic hurricane season. Stay aware, prepared, my friends and family. Thanks again for watching, and stay tuned. I have an exciting video coming up. We are announcing memberships. So stay tuned. Leave you here looking at Southern Hemisphere versus the Northern. Stay aware and prepared, stay young and have fun, and get your morning dew. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.